Hey guys, Jordan here from Tech Today, and I recently attended the 2017 North American International Auto Show in Detroit, Michigan, which is one of the largest auto shows in the world. So in this video, I'm going to be going over all the best tech and innovations that I saw at the show. So, let's get to it. So just to give you an overview of the event itself, this absolutely ginormous event had over 100,000 people in attendance on the day that I happened to go. And because of this, car companies strive for the best display of their vehicles possible. And a lot of times I actually question how they got a lot of the cars in places that they did. But nonetheless, it certainly was a sight to see, regardless if you're into cars or not. So starting out with the concept cars that were at the show this year, there were actually a lot more than I expected, to the point where almost every car manufacturer had their own to some extent, which definitely made the show a bit more interesting. And these certainly aren't going to be found at your local car dealership anytime soon, of course, but just to see some of the innovations and design aspects that companies, I guess, plan on putting in their vehicles in the future was cool in and of itself. So one car that a lot of people were talking about that certainly was cool to see was the Volkswagen ID Buzz concept, which was inspired by the older microbus that was created back in the 60s. So aside from the futuristic nature of both the interior and exterior that is to be expected, this all-electric van is also fully autonomous, which means that all you've got to do is sit down and let it do all the work. So in addition is a cool feature known as Volkswagen ID Pass, which means that whenever you enter the vehicle, it will tune everything to your liking. For example, the right seat position, radio station, and climate control options. But unfortunately, this car only has a 99 mph max speed, and in conjunction with the 200 kilowatt motor and 270 mile charging range, it certainly won't be as fast as the latest top-of-the-line Tesla, but nonetheless, it's an awesome car. Another cool concept that I saw was the Lincoln Navigator, which is boasting some pretty awesome design aspects that definitely put it in the realm of a futuristic car. Now this certainly was one of my favorite concepts at the show because of its bold stance and look overall. And some reasons for this include the crazy large gull-wing doors, which I'm pretty sure have never been featured in any sort of SUV before. So nice job, Lincoln. But moving on, the detail in the interior and rims was just unbelievable in my opinion. Also, there were 3 shiny steps that I'm assuming retract to help you get into this monstrous vehicle. So even though you're not going to be able to buy any of these cars soon, just to see where the future's going in terms of cars is cool nonetheless. So now getting into some of the autonomous cars that I saw at the Detroit Auto Show, both Hyundai and Ford had some interesting offerings. And there really isn't much information on these cars, but starting out with Hyundai, they brought their Ionic model to the show, which is an all-electric autonomous car that appears to still be in the development stage, similar to Ford's autonomous Fusion. But even though I can't drive yet, I can definitely imagine the average consumer having a tough time trusting a car to drive itself, since there just seems to be too many unknowns, despite the fact that Tesla's already implemented this technology into their vehicles. Now moving into hydrogen-powered cars, which are definitely the least popular in comparison to gas and electric vehicles, but they just may be the fuel of the future due to their high efficiency. So both Toyota and Honda were showing off their new hydrogen gas-powered cars. But to look at the Toyota Mirai in particular, which is actually in production right now, although you can really only own one if you live in California, because there are only hydrogen refueling stations currently located there. Moving on though, this car is featuring a minute 151 horsepower that certainly isn't a whole lot, but considering it's running off of a gas that produces 0 emissions, it's totally understandable. You'll also be getting a 312 mile range per tank, which is actually quite decent. Although with its steep price tag of about $58,000 and extremely limited purchasing area, I don't know if it's the best option for right now, despite its high MPG figures. So lastly, at the Chevy booth, they're featuring some really cool robots that were created in collaboration with the local school's robotics clubs. And you may be asking yourself how exactly this relates to cars, and they've actually created them so that they can imitate a system where the vehicle can parallel park on its own. And this is actually really interesting to see because of its accuracy. And to make it a bit more collaborative, Chevy even allowed people to control the car to check out the tech behind it. So that pretty much sums up my recap of the 2017 North American International Auto Show. And I actually included a few shots at the end of my favorite cars from the show, so be sure to keep watching. And I realize this wasn't quite a tech video, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And as always, feel free to drop me a comment down below and your thoughts and if you would like to pick up any of these cars. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.